Human beings tell stories that have very different faces. Some of us enjoy fantasy-based fairy tales, while others prefer suspenseful dramas or romantic love stories. As a story is told, the figures take on human contours, and these lead to other stories. We human beings tend to divide everything into light and darkness, good and evil, or life and death. This polarization apparently makes life easier. A closer look, however, reveals that both extremes always coexist. Without suffering there can be no joy, and without evil there is no good. Yet why does evil exist? Why are there diseases or catastrophes? Who allows such things to happen? Would it not be possible to prevent such suffering? The inhabitants of the small village Cha das Caldeiras on the Verde island of Fogo are currently confronted with all of these questions. During a volcanic eruption in November 2014, their village was completely destroyed by the lava flows. Let us look back at an intact village community, at the people who live there, their work and their music. The inhabitants are characterized by their modesty, a resignation to their fate, and an unwavering zest for life. In a collapsed old crater of the volcano Pico de Fogo lies a very small village, Cha das Caldeiras, in English, the plateau of the caldera. 1,500 people live in the village. Good pasture land and rich soil caused the people to settle in the lion's den in the old crater. Most of the village dwellers live from the fruits of their work in the fields. After the work has been done, they make music and drink a glass of their full-bodied red wine, manigot. There are a kindergarten, a school, an Adventist church and a Catholic church, a wine cooperative, several small bars and taverns. In March 2014, a modern nature reserve centre was opened. The founders of the Austrian association Nhos, which means "we with you" in English, have established strong ties and friendship with the inhabitants of Cha das Caldeiras. The association was founded in 2007 to improve the medical treatment possibilities of the village dwellers and to help their culture reach the rest of the world. In 2011, the thoroughly refurbished medical center of Cha das Caldeiras was reopened. The renovation was made possible with the support of the federal state of Verde. At the same time, Nhos funded the training of a certified nurse for the village. Cha das Caldeiras is isolated. The trip to the closest town is time-consuming and expensive, and there is little confidence in the doctors there. Consequently, the securing of competent local medical care is even more important. Back in 2007, a number of music sessions were recorded in the village with a mobile recording studio. 3 CDs with this authentic music have already been produced by Nhos. The association regularly organizes concerts featuring Cape Verde performers in Verde. Numerous prominent musicians, including the current Minister of Culture, Mario Lucio, have been part of this. Music plays an important role in Cape Verde. Every family makes music together. Every family has a known artist or performer. Music is the means for expressing the joy of life and the melancholy of a diaspora which has distributed members of all families worldwide. Already songs are being sung about the volcanic eruption in 2014. The volcano gives everything, but sometimes it takes everything back. The anxious waiting of the village dwellers to see how much of the fields and how many buildings the volcano would devour this time. In fact, 95% of the houses of Cha das Caldeiras and most of the level fields were engulfed. The worst fears became reality. Quick action was required. First, the older and weak inhabitants. Those who were ill and the children were all brought to safety. Then the houses were emptied. The village inhabitants brought their worldly goods to the high elevated Monte Amarillo. The people worked continuously for 3 days and 3 nights. Pain, exhaustion, sadness, hunger and thirst were their constant companions. After days of waiting, the possessions were then brought to the valley on small lorries following makeshift trails. The livestock had to be moved as well, from the rich pasture lands to a drought-stricken area at a lower level. The rains did not come in 2014. Many of the animals had to be slaughtered even before the volcano erupted, due to a lack of feed. In the reception camps for the evacuated village dwellers, there is dissent about the distribution of the aid supplies. The people have been accommodated in abandoned buildings, which were built as emergency shelters in 1995, but were never finished. Food and water are scarce. The meals distributed are insufficient. There is lack of electrical power, water and sanitary facilities, as well as mattresses, tables and other furniture. December the 2nd, 2014. Slowly the volcano is engulfing the houses, the school and the medical treatment center. On that day, politicians, media representatives and security forces enter the village, well protected by inadequate face masks. They comment and gesticulate to each other. There is no effort to establish direct contact with those affected. The authorities appear to be unable to cope. A competent coordinator of civil defense cannot do much to change that. The inhabitants of Cha das Caldeiras must rely on themselves in this emergency. Hope, sadness, fear. These are the emotions which lay heavily on the village along with the layer of ash and masses of lava. The music has been silenced, and all that can be heard is the sharp clatter and crunching of the lava and the ominous rumbling of the volcano. The village dwellers cry for the loss of their houses, their homeland, before they start off on the path to the emergency shelter. Some of them have already experienced 3 such eruptions on Fogo. But life goes on. Thoughts have quickly turned to a partial return. The possibilities for resettlement of Cha das Caldeiras or a move to a safe region in the vicinity are being considered. A delicate undertaking which raises many questions. Each of the individuals affected wants to have a say in the matter, is eager to make suggestions or express wishes, and is naturally ready to tackle what needs to be done. The Nhos Association is helping the people to rebuild their homes. A number of different campaigns and performances in Austria are being organized to raise funds for this task, even if it is not yet clear what the village will look like in the future.